க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிடுங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட். You copied, you sent me, huh? I will check. Hello, good afternoon. Evening. Show. Sir. Sir, good evening, sir. சார் அது செக்இன் ஆயிடுச்சுங்க சார். உங்களோட தான் என்னோட ஆப்ல லாகின் பண்ணிட்டு செக்இன் பண்ணிட்டேங்க சார். ஆனால் அதோட போர்டிங் பாஸ் வந்து 4 ஹவர்ஸ் முன்னாடி தான் ஜென்ரேட் ஆகுங்களா சார்? உங்க நம்பர் தான், உங்க நம்பர், உங்க இமெயில் ஐடி தான். நேற்று நீங்க கொடுத்த மாதிரியே தான் கொடுத்தேங்க சார். லிங்க் தான் வரும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். லிங்க் அண்ட் போர்டிங் பாஸ் ரெண்டுமே வந்துடும் சார். நேற்று மெசேஜில் தான் வந்ததுங்க சார். உங்களுக்கு ரெண்டுமே பிடிஎஃபாகவே வந்தது. எஸ் சார், எஸ். எஸ் சார், எஸ் சார்.
कोई रहता भी नहीं है। अरे
எஸ் சார், பண்ணிட்டாங்க சார். அந்த இது ஃபுல்லாக முடிச்சிட்டாங்க சார் பிபிடி. நான் கம்பைல் பண்ணிட்டு உங்களுக்கு நான் அனுப்புறேன். எஸ் சார். எஸ் சார், அவங்க போட்டாங்க சார். நான் கம்பைல் பண்ணிட்டு உங்களுக்கு அனுப்புறேங்க சார். ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ சார். நான் பண்றேங்க சார். ரெட் மார்க் பண்ணிடுறேங்க சார். ஆ ஓகே. மயில் சக்கரத்தை எடுத்து பேசலாங்க சார். நான் இன்னைக்கு நைட் தான் பேசுறேங்க சார். பேசிட்டு நான் உங்களுக்கு அப்டேட் பண்றேன். அது ஆக்சுவலா இப்போ முடியுதுங்க சார். இந்த 15th முடியுதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் சார். அதுதான் எக்ஸ்டென்ஷன் கேட்கணும். அவங்கள்ட்ட கேட்டதுக்கு அப்போலோல இருந்து ஒரு சர்டிபிகேட் வாங்கிட்டீங்கன்னா அதை அட்டாச் பண்ணிடலாம் சொன்னீங்க சார். அவங்க டாக்டர்கிட்ட கேட்டு சொல்றேன்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க சார். எத்தனை நாள்ல அவங்க எழுதி அனுப்புனாங்கன்னா அதையே வச்சு. எஸ் சார். ஓகே சார், நான் செக் பண்றேங்க சார். நான் ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ சார். ஓகேங்க சார், தேங்க்யூ சார். முடிய முன்னாடியே கொடுக்கணுங்கிறாரு. முடிய முன்னாடி எப்படி கொடுக்குறது? ஆஹா, எக்ஸ்டென்ஷன் எப்போ முடியுதுன்னு கேட்டுன்னா வாங்கணுன்றாரு. லீவ் கேட்கணும். சரி, ஓகே. ஓகே, ஓகே. I'm starting. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So we'll start the session. Thanks for joining. So this is Saravanan, PhD scholar and Prime Minister Research Fellow of NIT Tiruchirappalli. So I'm a PMR scholar. As a part of deliverable, I have to take 2 hours of TSC associated with NPTEL. So I am associated with this course, Municipal Solid Waste Management, along with Dr. Ajay Kalamdar sir of IIT Guwahati. So other two PMR scholars are also parallelly taking this course. So mine is on Tuesday and 6 to 8 p.m. Okay, so this is the week 12th week session of our problem solving. So this 2 hours, first 1 hour, we are going to see about the same lecture material of what has taught in the class, and then another 1 hour we are going to discuss about the old assignment problems. Okay. So in the first 11 weeks, we have discussed about what is solid waste and what are the types of solid waste and how and what basis we have classified the solid waste. And then we have discussed about the 6 functional elements of solid waste management. The first one is the storage and handling, waste generation, storage and handling. Then second element is waste collection, that is primary and secondary. Then transport and transfer and transport. Then processing, in that biological transformation and chemical transformation we have discussed. Then disposal, in the disposal we have discussed about the landfills. Uh, Landfill design also we have explained, and the collection system we have some problems like stationary container system and hauled container systems. In the transformation we have discussed about biological, in that aerobic composting, anaerobic digestion, biogas plants. Then the material recovery facility (MRF) we have discussed. In the last session, we have discussed about landfills as well as landfill reclamation options also, like biomining. So this week we have and also we have discussed about the special waste, that is e-waste, construction and demolition waste, biomedical waste, and then inert waste management also we have discussed. So this week is a special lecture on finance of solid waste management, how to manage the finance in solid waste management itself. So this is again a special study related to solid waste management. So we'll move on to the course material. So if you have any doubt, please post it in the chat box in between the lecture. Yeah, yeah. So I'll continue with the lecture. Hope my voice is audible. So this week we are going to discuss about the finance and PPP. PPP is public-private partnership. This is what we have discussed during the 11-week session also. The separate module is created for PPPs. That's what we are going to discuss today. So finance and PPPs in municipal solid waste management projects. So how the financial implementation is happening in solid waste management, like if we are getting the fund from the government, and we are also getting revenues through the taxes, and also the revenue by selling the end product that is coming out of the solid waste management, we can manage the finance. So municipal solid waste services are traditionally financed through combination of government grants as well as the revenues. So government, like central government and state government, will give some grants, and the revenues through taxes. Okay, so also we have non-tax revenues also, like by selling this type of end products of municipal solid waste management. What are the end product we can say, like compost we can sell, biogas as a energy we can sell, and the heat energy we can produce through the incineration plant, and directly electricity we can sell. These are the end product we can sell and get some revenue, generate some revenues. So EL should be aware of full cost and return. So before planning any solid waste management project, we have to analyze the full cost as well as also the returns coming out of this projects. Okay, so this is the duty of the ULBs. ULBs are urban local bodies, or any municipality should uh, uh, should be aware to assess the full cost as well as the return of the proposed municipal solid waste management programs. Okay, so very few ELBs takes loan for establishing the municipal solid waste management services in these areas. So some may take loans. So we are going to discuss about what are the other financial sources we are also having. So one part is government grant, one is revenue. Some may take loans also. So lack of access to the financial key hurdle in municipal solid waste management studies. So that is a study that reported it's a lack of access to the financial key. So if I am planning to do proper waste segregation, so for that at least I need 2 bins collection vehicle with separated compartments I need, and then different collection crew I need for the collection of different segregated waste. So this and all is directly proportional to how much finance we are having. So if we have less finance, then we have to restrict this type of collection system and the transport system. So again, finance is the key to implement this type of new technologies in municipal solid waste management. So the new technology should be efficient as well as cost effective. Again, cost is a major thing. So revenues to the government through government grant and property tax also we can get. Okay. So, as I mentioned, all the ULB should do a proper full cost assessment and revenue assessment. So, full cost accounting, that is FCA. How to do this full cost accounting and what are the components of FCA? So, full cost accounting provides a systematic framework for identifying and evaluating the cost associated with the integrated solid waste management projects. Okay, so it will assess first, it will identify what are the various components of the cost, and also it will evaluate accurately and complete information it will give around about the real cost of the real cost for managing the solid waste. Okay, so we have seven important elements of full cost accounting. First one is front end cost. We are going to discuss in detail about all the seven. The first one is front end cost. Before starting anything, we need a front end cost for land acquisition, permits, building construction, IEC activities, and all. We need some cost, that is front end cost. Then capital cost is some of the machineries we have to buy, some capital cost for any project we need, that's capital cost. Then operating cost for people who are working for machinery to operate, energy, and also electricity what we are giving, water is required. So all this like operating cost it will come. So debt service cost, operation and maintenance cost, cost for refurbishment if anything is happening. And then contingent cost will be there. Contingent in the sense that may or may not happen, like a backup cost, like so remediation cost, liability cost if any damage happened to the person or to the plant, property, or the human damage you have to pay. That and all contingency cost. Then back end cost we have like site closure, building and equipment decommissioning, some retirement and health benefit cost also we have to give to the workers. Then environmental cost is the main cost. Again, we have to calculate cost involved in the mitigation, adverse effect of the environment, environment management plan, and downstream impacts. By doing this activity, solid waste management activity, there may be some emission and impact to the environment. That also we have to take it into consideration, and we have to pay some cost for that as equivalents. Then social cost, how the quality of life is getting affected and the aesthetic impacts, community image, and effect of property values. So if you are constructing a landfill near a area, then the property value of the nearby areas will get affected. Maybe 1 feet square, maybe 4,000 rupees. After constructing a landfill, it may come down to 2,000 rupees. So there is a loss for the people again. So quality of life may change due to air pollution, due to groundwater contamination. The quality of the people, the quality of the life may get affected. That also we have to take into consideration. And then aesthetic impact. More flies will come, more rodents will come, all the mammals will come and eat there. So again, aesthetic impact. There may be flying of RDF, lightweight particles, that may dust pollution. This and all will affect the health of the people again. So community image again will damage. So FCA covers the life cycle of municipal solid waste activity from cradle to grave. So there is another course in NPTEL handled by Dr. Rajesh Kumar Dubey sir regarding this life cycle assessment also. So you can also go through that videos. So that is a one assessment tool. I mean, one assessment principle in LCA, that is cradle to grave. Cradle in the sense it's like a cradle, and the grave is the end. So from the cradle to grave, if you are assessing the cost, that is FCA. So we have lots of part like cradle, production, end of the company, then consumer side, then finally grave side. So if you are accounting everything from cradle to grave, that is full cost accounting. So if I am considering from cradle to only the supply point, then it will be changing. Then only to supply to disposal point, then again account will change. That full cost accounting will account from cradle to grave. Oh, what is the full advantage of this FCA? So it will prepare budget and determine the future direction and examines various financial scenarios, because we are also considering this contingent cost and back end cost. So it again estimates the So this again estimates the various financial scenarios that may happen. It also calculates the long-term cost that is going to involve in this project. And then FCA result in maintaining transparency between the ULBs and the general public, because public also paying tax. That's the important source financial shows. So they have to show what are the things they are going to do. So if they do the full cost assessment, then if there is a transparency to the public, they can show these are the project we are going to do, these are the cost we are going to collect from you, and the government is funding this much of cost. So this is again a cost benefit analysis and a proper accounting. So the results of FCA will give the non-monetary monetary cost also that may be considered. So to help the ULBs to make better informed decision for MSWDM. So we are going to discuss each part in detail. First is front-end cost. As I mentioned, before implementing any MSWM project, we need to calculate the we need a cost that is called a front-end cost. Like what are the activities that may happen? Topographic survey we need to do because if I am going to collect the municipal solid waste of Tiruchirappalli city, so I have to collect the graph of the Trichy city. I have to go and do the field survey and geotechnical surveys, because everything will be based on that water hydrological investigation, environmental impact assessment I have to do before starting the project itself. That's called the front end cost. So these are the various activity description that is going to happen in the front end cost, and the numbers and the unit rate you can calculate easily. So land I have to acquire, topographic survey, geotechnical investigation, hydrological investigation. Waste characterization is important. As I mentioned, before starting any waste management project, I need to characterize the waste. Without getting a proper characterization value, we can't plan for anything, because if the waste is having more combustible, then I can choose for incineration plant. If the waste is having more organics, I can choose biogas plant, that is AD, or composting plant I can go. If my waste is having like again a wet waste, I can go with the vermicompost. And also waste quantification also important. I can say like today there may be some 1000 kg per day. Maybe after one year it may around 1.5 I mean 1500 kg per day, tons per day. So it may vary. Again, population is increasing, waste generation may also increasing. So long term assessment is required. This assessment is done in waste quantification. This requires some money, and then a detailed design and the environmental impact need to be done. Assessment need to be done. This are all the cost involved in front end cost. Then capital cost. This is again a one-time fixed cost. Both this and the front end cost and the capital cost are one-time fixed cost only. We are not going to do the same again. So like it requires the purchase of assets, land, vehicle, equipment, and other supplies and all required. So that's called capital cost. I'm going to buy one building, not a building, land, and then I'm going to buy the equipments and the vehicles like a truck, loaders, excavators. These are the equipments and lorries for handling the waste, and then conveyor belts and other assets I need to buy. This and all. You can say this as an asset. So mainly two part will be there. One is collection and transport cost. Other one is processing and disposal cost. So collection and transport, we need storage bins, transportation vehicles, and transfer station. For processing and disposal, we need building, land and building, plant machineries, equipment, handling equipment, pollution control equipments, and then material recovery facility, sanitary landfill construction, and their parts, components. So this is the data sheet for both collection and transportation, as well as for processing and disposal. You got it? Then this is a survey shows rise in MRF processing cost. So so the paper you can see in northeastern US that discusses about how the estimated cost was rising. So this is again a failure of not a failure, error in calculating this full cost accounting. So if they are not doing the proper accounting, then this project may fail due to this type of financial issues. Okay. Then operation and maintenance cost. So O&M, that is called operation and maintenance cost, which is incurred every day, is required for every day's operation of the facility, like labors and salaries. Every day I have to give salary to the labors. Like some administration and the management cost, and maintenance of vehicle and equipment. Capital cost alone is not enough. So we need to give some maintenance for the vehicles and the equipment, and the fuels I need to do, tires I need to change. This is all O&M cost. Then contingent cost. Contingent cost is like might or might not happen. That's what I said. That's backup cost. So in the future it may happen. like some process of my solid waste project may release some pollutant that may not know now, but it may release some pollutant, so I have to give some percentage as a I have to make a backup for like 5% of the total cost as a backup. That's called contingent cost. So this may exceeding in some dollar amount also. That's why we need to have a proper significant amount as a backup. So that may be required for future release of pollutant from landfills, operating in municipal landfills, or a liability cost for compensating undiscovered damage in the future. So if the plant fails, I have to give some liability. If it releases some pollutant in the groundwater, then I have to give some liability to the nearby people. This and all contingent cost. Then back end cost. It is like wrap up operation and take proper care of landfills. Like that is all backup cost. The cost of post employment health, retirement benefit for the people who are working in the municipal solid waste management program. So these are all back end cost I have to do. So citizen will have to pay additional fee for the solid waste management program, because if we are not calculating properly these accounts, then we need to implement more tax on the people to compensate what the requirement we need. So we have to initially assess fully, and then we have to ask the government to pay the proper amount for the project. So that's what the resident would have to pay an additional SWM user fee in their property tax. So if you see what are the property tax you are paying to your municipality every month, or every 6 months once you are paying the property fee, water tax, everything you are paying. So in the property tax, if you see, SUC charge will be there. That's called SUC charge, solid waste utilization and management cost. So that is around like per month 30 rupees or something. So per day you are paying 1 rupee to the government for managing solid waste in your area. So it's like 30 rupees in my area. It may vary with the state to state or district to district based on their bylaws. So it's around 30 to 50 rupees in and around India. So you can see this SUC charge in your property tax. You can go through your property tax bill and you can see in the receipt. Okay. Yeah. So then environmental cost. So environmental cost is again municipal solid waste management, transport, treatment, and disposal activity may have impact on the environment, like contamination soil. It will contaminate the soil. It will pollute the surface and the groundwater bodies. It may affect the air quality. So that and all need to be accounted. So we need a proper EAA report that will give the environmental cost. Also, the mitigation cost also required. So if this may happen. So if it happens, what are the mitigation measures we are having? For that, how much cost is required? So this both should be taken as a environmental cost. Okay, so these are all called externalities. So that and all should be captured through a process called a life cycle assessment, as I mentioned. So proper EIA through LCA is required. LCA is a tool for assessing the environmental impact. So it entails environmental impact prior to their use. So it may deplete the non-renewable mineral resource. It may affect air and water quality. Also, it may generate waste. So that handling also need to be considered. Then social cost. So any project, we need to consider the social cost also. It may mitigate adverse effect on the health and well-being of the local community. As I mentioned, if you are constructing a landfill in an area, the nearby people health may get affected due to the dust emission and due to the water quality, water contamination, groundwater and surface water contamination. So this health impact need to be taken care, mitigated. That's we have to mitigate the adverse impact. For that, we need a cut-off wall and all, and a proper boundary fencing and all required. So that and all need to be calculated. Amount required for that and all will be calculated. So the proper amount required for health, quality of life, value of property of the neighborhood peoples are considered. So issue of environmental justice can arise for planners. So adverse effect on the property value, community image, and the aesthetic, as I mentioned, and opportunity cost of alternative and future land use, noise, sudden and traffic may need to be compensated. Got it? And these are all the costs we have discussed as of now. The major elements of full cost accounting, that is called FCA. Now we are going with the financial viability of the MSWM project. So MSWM system are sustainable only when they are financially viable and can stand alone. This is the main, most important point. So MSWM may be sustainable only when they are financially viable and stand alone on their basis. So we can't expect the people to pay more for managing their waste. So they are already paying through the property tax. So with that, we have to manage the waste. We can't expect the people to pay more through in the form of tax. So the system should be financially viable and stand alone on its own basis. So at present, we're having like India is facing an issue with financial viability in SWM sectors. So we have a cost recovery mechanism. Like we can give a user fee. That's what we are collecting through the tax. Sales of the end product. That's what compost and electricity. Municipal fund and grants from the state and central government. Loans and funding from the private sectors. This is what we are going to discuss in the upcoming slides. These are the four cost recovery mechanisms. Because we are giving we are paying. That's the cost we have identified. How to recover the cost, that also required for any project, right? No project will be without any revenue system. So that recovery mechanism we need to have with this four kinds. So waste to energy plant again, rupees of 10,000 crore industry is facing issue. So that is around 92 plants with aggregated capacity of around 250 megawatts have been set up in the country for electricity generation. That again fails. So how much crores we are spending? See the digits, 10,000 crores we are spending for a waste to energy plant alone. Is it that much required, or why this full cost accounting is significant or not? Or it's a overestimate, or it's an underestimate, or it's a reasonable amount? That and all we can do only with the FCA analysis. Okay. Then what are the source of finance that that's what I have mentioned. We can do with the local tax. We can collect from the user charges. Local tax in the sense property tax, water tax. User charge again we can collect based on from the local residents from the through the local bodies like license fee, non-tax revenues. Then grant from the state and central government. So they may give some grant. Then loans from the capital market, government and financial institutions. Loan from the international agencies. So you know, like Asian Development Bank, that is funding a lot for municipal solid waste management. This type of environmental related projects like water treatment, wastewater treatment, groundwater contamination mitigation, air pollution mitigation, solid waste management. This type of projects were mainly funded by Asian Development Bank, Japan Bank for International Cooperation, German Development Bank, and the World Banks are funding. These are all international agencies that are giving loans to this type of projects. Okay, then PPBs. That's what public-private partnership. The public cannot rely on its own, so they seek some help from the private parties for financial aid. So if they are paying, they will get some revenues. That's what the mutual cooperation they are having. Okay, then municipal bond or debentures. So with their local assets, they can have some bond. Then revenue from sales of products, as I mentioned. Then tipping fee from the private operators. Like we are collecting waste from the industries, we need a tipping fee. That answer we can get. These are all source of finance we can get. So viable user charge are based on quantity of the waste generated. That's what important. So you can't get the same amount from everyone. So if an industry is discharging 10,000 1,000 kg of waste per day, should pay accordingly, and the industry should release that the industry have to pay a less amount when it's discharging 100 kg per day. So this quantity matters. So the charge should be based on the quantity of waste generated and level of service provision. Then first is property tax. As I mentioned, total 25 to 30% of the total revenue coming from the property tax alone, because we are collecting a separate entity for solid waste management alone. So government grants are another major source of revenue. Still, the ULBs are a sizable part of property tax to support the MSWS activities. There is a lump sum approach of the property tax does not impose any incentives at the source. And if you are having at least some percentage of this amount for source minimization, at source waste minimization, then it will reduce the a huge amount in solid waste collection and transport itself. So if I am minimizing, I am giving some amount to for public behavioral change and source minimization techniques. Then I can reduce the cost in collection and transport, because collection and transport itself is a huge amount required process. Okay, that's what this is a good idea. A lump sum amount should be imposed at the source waste minimization ideas itself. So ALBs in the state could collect only 36% of property tax so far this decision. These are all news articles you can read about the tax that is required for the solid waste management, that are collected for the solid waste management. Then user charge. Other than tax, people are also paying user charge. If you go to some of the apartments, they are having some maintenance charge in apartments and all you can see. So that maintenance charge may be for lift, water supply, plumbing activities, and main is like solid waste management. Nowadays, all the apartments are having their own sewage treatment plant, their own waste collection and transport. So if they are collecting their waste and disposing in the landfill will weigh the lorry, and based on the quantity, they will give some tipping. They have to pay some tipping fee. You got it. So this type of tipping fee will be collected from people who are coming from as a private entities. So there are three principles we can collect the user charges. One is polluters pay principle. If I am polluting, I have to pay. PPP. This is again a PPP only. Polluters pay principle. So I am polluting this. I am paying. That is main important. Those who are responsible for waste generation should pay for its collection and safe disposal. So nowadays, in whole nation is working on this polluters pay principle concept only. Then proportionality. How much quantity of waste I am generating, that much amount I have to pay. That's the user fee again, and the level of service provided to the waste generators. Okay, so I am collecting the whole waste, then I have to pay the whole money. If I am collecting partially, then based on that also level of service also it may vary. That is proportionality. Then capacity to pay. Then the affordability of the taxpayers. I can't collect the same amount from different community people. Like one may having slum people and one may be having in the apartments. So I have to have some difference in this user fee also. So based on their waste quantity, based on the level of service we are doing, and also their capacity to pay. Low income people may be there, high income people may be there. That and all should be accommodated while collecting this user charges. Okay. So how to enhance the tax base in ULBs? We have to give some subsidies to the poor people, and we have to have a higher rate of from non-residential establishments. Like if they are, if it is a residential area, we can fix lower user charge. If it is from a like a commercial area or from an institute or from an office, we can collect more amount from them. And then willingness to pay. If people are willing to pay, they can pay more money. Introducing high service fees like that. If I am giving more service, I have to pay more money, so that I can compensate with this low income people. Like this, I can enhance the tax base. So three important things A's are required for efficient administration. One is accountability, acceptability, and affordability. These three are main most important. Efficient administration, for efficient administration, these three A's are important: accountability, acceptability, and affordability. You got it. Then this is again a panchayat fined rupees 25,000 for burning garbage in that in their premises itself. So we need proper finance for the management of this solid waste in the micro level also. First one is like we have discussed about the property tax. Second one is user charge. The third one is grant from the central and the state government. So they may also provide. They have to pay, provide some fund. So it's like substantial financial support from Finance Commission grants. They may get central government grant like JNRUM, and then Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Swachh Bharat Mission. We are having lots of fund, getting lots of fund. Then State Finance Commission grants. Every 5 years once they will allot some money for the solid waste management alone to support the administration, governance, and municipal service deliveries. And then the loan is the fourth source of finance. Like what are the loans they are getting from the government or the financial institutions? So it's a relatively lower rate of interest. We can get some loan for management of solid waste or any environment related project like housing and the urban development corporation. These are all government bodies provide are an institutional financial institution that is providing loan for government projects again. So infrastructural development finance company, infrastructure leasing and finance services, National Bank, Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency, Industrial Development Bank of India, Industrial Finance Corporation of India, and then commercial bank suppliers, creditors, and private venture capital. So these are all the funds we can get through loans. So private sector participation, that is called PSP. It's a beneficial option for financing improved service delivery in municipal solid waste sectors. Like Then loans and grants from bilateral and multilateral donors. This is what I have mentioned as international donors. So Asian Development Bank is the one which is funding, giving loan for this type of environmental related projects. Then municipal bonds and debentures, like it's a good source for rising finance. The tax-free municipal bonds is are there, which is issued by the urban local bodies having good financial health and good credit ratings. So it's still in nascent stage in India. Only few ULBs are doing this municipal bond method for creating fund. So that's based on again credit ratings only. So like some examples like Ahmedabad are doing this municipal bonds and debentures. So here you can see Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation is one of the pioneer city to issue municipal bond and debentures. So here's a government plan to push up municipal bonds to generate finance for the solid waste management. This is the revenue from sales of products. What are the products we are getting? So that like compost, RDF, and the electricity. RDF again we can sell as a fuel. It's a like refuse derived fuel only. So it will minimize the expenditure by seeking the private sector participation and waste processing facilitated on the municipal land and giving them for the we have a land area that is owned by the municipality, and the private sector is a processing agency. So they have to pay the rent to the government. That is again a finance source or a revenue source. Okay, so these are all revenues we can get out of the out by selling the products. Then tipping fee from the private sector, as I mentioned, if the apartment people are disposing their waste in the landfills, then based on the quantity they are generating, they have to pay the tipping fee prescribed for large waste generators for processing and disposal, and then fixed monthly fee for providing access to the processing and disposal facility. If they are coming to the transfer station, they have to pay tipping fee to that. If they are coming to the landfill for disposal, they have to pay disposal fee there. This is the concept behind the finance. Then trans collections to cost more from September 1. That's again a 2017 news article related to tipping fee cost increase. Then deficit management. We are also getting some deficits. That how to manage that? Again, it's through user charge only based on polluters pay principle. We have to recover all the 100% of the total cost of service by polluters pay principle only. Then cost of door-to-door collection, transportation, processing, and final disposal of waste. Everything is need to be accounted and it should be collected back. And the cost of street sweeping, transportation, and disposal. These are all municipal activities that will be compensated with the municipal general budget. Other things like municipal solid waste management, like residential waste, we have to manage with the user charges and property tax. Like that, this is again a template. You can calculate the deficits, financial deficits. It's a Pune Municipal Corporation to impose solid waste management fee as a part of property tax bill. That's what. So we are going to discuss about two major grants given by the central government. One is JNURM program, Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission. So this is supporting and by an investment of around $20 billion over 7 years in solid waste management alone. This was named after Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru ji, like first Prime Minister of India. So he officially inaugurated by the our late Prime Minister Manmohan Singh on 2005. For the next 7 years, it was like funded around $20 billion. Then it was again extended for another 2 years from 2012 to 2014. So what's the aim of this program? To create economically productive, efficient, equitable, and responsible cities. So again, everything is based on solid waste management only. So basic service to the urban poor, wide-ranging urban sector reforms. So what are the total project cost, central share and the state share that was incurred in this JNURM project that are all given here. Uh, Ma'am, you want to ask something?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So that says till 2014 it has been into existence, and which means for the past 10 years there has not been any fund through JN.
URM.
Any,
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
it
ma'am.
so?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, okay, okay.
So that project ended in 2014 itself. Now 14 Swachh Bharat mission started.
Okay, okay.
That I will
Fine.
explain in the next.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Okay. So we'll go further. So total project cost was around 60,000 crores in rupees, I am telling. That central share is around 1039. It's like equally they have shared. Central government is more less equally shared with along with the state government, state plus ULBs. So they are also funded in this JNURM projects. So you can see the share, share of different states like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and UP lead the list with high level of investment in this type of projects and JNURM project alone. And then Rajasthan, Assam, and Madhya Pradesh are high potential states. Still not recovered by municipal solid waste management systems. So they have to invest more to get into the systems. So you can see from 2008 to 14 how the amount in 100 crore rupees that was forecasted, and then how much percentage was spent in collection, treatment, and recycling. As I mentioned, everywhere 80%, 70 to 80% will be for collection and transport alone. So that was used there, and then 50% for recycling and 6% for treatment and disposal they have used. Yeah, because in our country the treatment was only taken care of 50% only, and the disposal was mainly happening because landfill disposal only we are doing, that is cheapest in both construction and maintenance also. Yeah. So this is a glance of creation of solid waste management infrastructure in Indian state, north, west, and east, south. How much amount in crores that was invested? So you can see these pictures and all investment not invested, investment requirement in solid waste management in India in 2031. This is the forecasted data. This is a financial failure projects. I'm going to discuss a lot of failure projects here also. We have a central government that given only 35% of the project cost, and state government only sponsored 15% of the project cost. That is, as a finance, it went into the system. It's in Hyderabad. Ramki Enviro Engineers Limited is the one who had taken care of the solid waste management project. So they are the private party that supported the government for the solid waste management activity. So that was sponsored by the central and state government, and monitoring they have done with the Environmental Protection Training and Research Institute. Okay, then if you see the service, again infrastructural cooperation of Andhra Pradesh and Greater Hyderabad, they provided a consent agreement, and then they given the tipping fee also. But how the revenue they have generated by selling the RDF, buyers of the RDF will pay the price, and then they did a service and the tariff, that is again a tipping fee they collected. So, but again, why the project got failed? It's around 3,800 metric ton of waste was collected, and the total budget of the project was around 430 crores. The problem is government refused to contribute its share of 35%, which is around 152 crores. So the plan was around central government should pay 35 and state government should pay 15%. But it was refused to pay this amount, then claiming that the state has already exhausted its investment for 7 years through the JNRM program. So the solution they have given is the state government agreed to bail out GHMC, that is the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, by bearing the part of the project cost, which was provided by the government of India. Again, it goes to the case, and it was given as a solution. Then Swachh Bharat mission was started in the year 2014, this I have mentioned. So the major aim of Swachh Bharat mission, why it was started? It had an aim in the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, like in 2019. That's the 150th birth anniversary. At that time, India should be open defecation free. That's the main aim, elimination of open defecation. That's why the Swachh Bharat mission was first started. There is no tolerance for the homes without toilets and public places littered with the garbage. So there are two important aim. One is open defecation should be eliminated. All the public litter with the garbage should not be tolerated. So it's again a solid waste management thing only. Okay, so it had an aim. It was started in 9 June 2014 by the Prime Minister of India, the present Prime Minister of India. It was started. And then the fund was raised. It was given to the states. The main objectives are elimination of open defecation, eradication of manual scavenging. This is again an important role. Eradication of manual scavenging, and then modern and scientific municipal solid waste management. Then to affect behavioral change. This will again directly related to the source segregation. So the people will directly be aware to change their behavior to segregate the waste in their source itself or to minimize the waste that is generated. Then again the collection and transport cost will be reduced. It is again directly proportional. Then awareness about sanitation, again this is related to open defecation. Then capacity augmentation, participation in capex and OPEX, that is capital expenditure and operational expenditure. Then the main mission components are household toilets we have to give. So they're given lots of subsidies for building toilets in all the households. Then community toilets they have brought, public toilets and urine. And solid waste management is the second aim. Information, education and communication and public awareness on public littering, capacity building and administration and office expenses. So how the funding was patterned, like household toilets, they have given around rupees 2000 as a central assistance cost. For community and public toilets and solid waste management program, they have provided through Government of India may be drawn with this pool fund. That is called a huge fund was again pulled at to maintain at the state level. And state again contributed 25% of the fund minimum and the central 75% share. 10% in case of Northeast and special category state they have provided in excess. And then subsequent installment shall be released based on utilization certificate of previous grant. They have released a lot of funds for this solid waste management alone. So in SBM, that is Swachh Bharat mission itself, lots of MCCs were created. Micro compost centers was created. In Trichy itself, we have more than 55 MCCs. In NIT also we have one MCC. Like that, many MCCs were created. Many fund was allotted to biomining, that is was landfill clearing, and then public littering, collection facilities. More collection vehicles were bought in all the municipalities by this Swachh Bharat Mission fund. This huge pool fund was released to the state level in a subsequent installment manner. So this you can see how the percentage share to the states and the union territories. This is again a successful project only. Swachh Bharat Mission is a wonderful project initiated by the government of India, and Indore was the pioneer in this projects. Like Indore is the cleanest city in India. The story and all you can read in the SBM website how the Indore become the cleanest city and who is initiated this. From Indore only they got this idea of they initiated the Swachh Bharat Mission. Then public-private partnership. This is again a financial part only. So the public, if they cannot fund this much of huge uh, requirement, they can seek the help from the private parties. So private will give money and they will take some part of uh, things from the government. Like that is a provision of public asset. They will have the land and they will do their project. So the public should give the land for free and the private party will make the setup for processing the waste. Then what are the revenues they are generating? They will get the revenue. So this is like mutual understanding. So provision of public asset and related service for the public benefit through investment. Investment will be by the private sector for a specified time period. That is very important. They cannot take for a long period of time. So that is again a specified period of time. One second. And then the risk taken by the party best suit to handle it. So the important pillars of the PPPs, that is the public-private partnership projects, are risk transfer. The risk was transferred from the government side to the private side, public to the private, it was transferred. Then value for money, because what are the waste? Everywhere you can say waste is a wealth, trash as a treasure. So whatever we are generating, that is having more value. So if the private party agency know how to transfer this waste into money, they will succeed. So they will value for the money. Then output specification, they know a clear plan how to execute and all. Then promise of better project structure and design, affordability, they will give some because finance, whatever we are having 50 crores, we are giving, and 50 crores private party is giving 100 crores, a huge money to do this project. So it's affordable and efficient. These are all the characteristics and pillars of PPP projects. So attention grabbing PPP waste projects in India. Everywhere it started. Nowadays, all the projects are PPPs only in India related to solid waste management. Like you can see the history of private sector in solid waste management. In mid-90s, large scale projects like metro cities in Chennai, Delhi were not able to execute solid waste management properly due to inappropriate value chain and less scope. That is the main point. Why they are not able to do? Not because of expertise, because of the finance. So they don't have inappropriate value chain and less scope for the private participation. Later in 1990s, the ULBs gradually realized to reduce the burden on the landfill. So MSW management rules handbook was released in 2000. Government was unable to spend money, so private sector participation was involved. Late 20s, I mean 2000s, larger private companies to get into collection and transportation part. So moreover, few integrated solid waste management programs have been implemented under PPP mode. Nowadays, all the projects are in PPP mode only. So why PPP? Private sector had a lot of capital money for investment. That is the main part. Then they can help create investment and also earn profit for the public. They are giving money. Also, they are generating a lot, and 1% of share will be given to the government also. The government is processing the waste, also they are getting in revenues, so they have the idea to implement. So private sector has expertise, managerial capacity and institutional strength. So in the solid waste management rule itself, the handbook itself, it mentioned the PPP is a good model to implement for solid waste management projects. So if a framework is developed, private players can come in it will result in good management of service, better services. That's the thing. Some facts like India spends just 6% of its GDP on infrastructure compared to China's 20%. So very low GDP they are doing for infrastructural development. That's the main disadvantage we are having. So if you compare to China, they are spending 20% of their GDP in infrastructure development alone. So to achieve this target of GDP growth, the country will need to invest approximately $250 billion in infrastructure over the next 5 years. So the importance of infrastructure for rapid economic development cannot be overstated. This was given by the finance minister's speech in 2005 to 6. The importance of the infrastructure for rapid economic development cannot be overstated. So the most glaring deficiency in India is the infrastructural deficit. This is the important thing. So we are having deficit in infrastructure development. So more fund is required, or more private participation and not donation, we can say, like a collaboration is required with the private party in infrastructural development. The resultant effect is retardation of economical growth. And the benefits are like easy access to the service, single window, one stop operation, like a 24/7 convenience you will get for both these people, flexibility in accessing and saving the indirect cost and hardship, because these people will give the risk to the private parties. So they will have all the indirect cost and the hardship savings. And the general features of PPP, they will build, extend and renovate a facility. They agree to transfer the asset back to the public sector at some point. So there are a lot of models in PPP. It's in the name itself you can understand that. Different models of PPPs are normally adopted in Indian cities or management contracts: BOT, BOOT, DB, FOT, and DBO. You can read this with this small things. You can abbreviate. Most of the PPP projects are DBFO models. I will explain you what is that. And but most of the SWM projects are BOT and DBFO. So design, build, operate, transfer, these are the words. D means design, B is build, O is operate, T is transfer. So if you see here, design, build, finance and operator. So everything if they are doing by the private party, then it is called the DBFO model. But solid waste, build, operate, and they have to transfer to the public after some period of time. Or they have to design, build, finance, operate. So they are doing for the entire period of time by the private party itself. So solid waste management, these two models are very good, BOOT and DBFO. So if you see build, operate, transfer, after it's a simple and conventional PPP model. The private party will design, build and operate, then they will transfer back to the public sector. So the role of the private party is to finance the project. They are simply financing for building and operating. Later they are transferring to the public sector. So why they are doing like that? Because the public sector will allow the party to collect the revenues. Like it's like again what the what we call mm, car and all, we will see na highways. We are paying this
Is it tender, sir?
not
Tender
tender,
for
not tender. What is that? I forgot. In the highway, we are paying. What is that? In
toll,
the
toll,
car,
toll,
toll.
toll.
Sorry, toll. Yeah, that's correct. Sorry for that. Toll. It's like simply the private party is building, creating the road, and they are funding for that, and then they are transferring to the public. But the public is giving them they are allowing to collect the revenues from the public, I mean the people. That's the user charge we are paying. But it's returned to the government. The property is now government owned, but it was built and transferred by the private sector. It's like similar to toll. Okay, so like that we can use this PPP model for solid waste management also. Like build, own, and operate. So the private party will build, own, and they will operate. They have the ownership newly built facilities. Okay. Then build, own, operate, and transfer. They will again everything they will do and then transfer to the government. Build, operate, lease, and transfer. Like private entity to build the facility, own the facility, lease the facility to the public sector, and then ownership of the facility to the government. Then rehabilitate, offer, operate, and transfer. This is for not the new project, like old already existing project. They can do this type of things to the through PPPs. Private promoters to rehabilitate, operate a facility during the concession period, and then they will transfer back to the again it's a transfer. So transfer back to the government or the local bodies. Lots of models we are having: design, build, finance, operate, transfer. Everything. This is the most common form of PPP. Design, build, finance, everything we are provided by the private party only. Operated commercial, they only will operate because the operation is also handled by the private sector. Finally, facility was transferred to the authority or the government within a period of time. Then design, build, finance, operate. Here there is which is missing. Transfer is missing. So this BBFO is suitable for landfill projects. So the private party will design the landfill, they will build the landfill, they will finance, they will operate the landfill. Like until its end, they will operate and they will generate the revenue, and some part share will be given to the public. So it's suitable for landfill because no transfer is required. Only after 15 years, the land will be owned by the public again. Then management contract is one model of PPP. The private participation is managing a portion or a whole part of the infrastructure. Like the land is given by the public, or infrastructure, water public is providing, energy public will provide. Only you have to design, deliver, and operate the project, or whatever the equipment that you have to procure. Okay, so the public sector retains the ownership and the commercial risk, because whatever the land for the landfill that was provided by the public, and the water supply, electricity supply, everything government is providing. Only the private party should come. They have to design the landfill, they have to build. There's a contract agreement again, a management contract. They will deliver, and finally they have to give, not giving, everything they are doing, but the land is always owned by the public sector. Then service contracts. This is only for the service, less focused than the management contract. The public promoters perform a particular operation or maintenance. Only each, like if you are building a landfill, only for that build, we can have a service from the public party. It's like a fee over a specific period of time they can get. Okay, so these are all various models which is suitable for solid waste management we can adopt, or any process which model is suitable we can use. So this is like a process in the PPP projects, like identification. These are the 4 phases: identification, full feasibility, procurement, and operation. So in identification, that's the phase 1. PPP develop a pipeline and identifies the which project you are going to give, that and all will be identified, and what are the other models we have to identify. And then the responsibility for the phase 1 will be with the sponsoring agency. Who is the sponsoring agency? The ministry of central government, or a state government, or a local body. Their responsibility to do this identification. And then in identification itself, the strategic planning, project pre-feasibility analysis is again a vague thing about the PPPs. Suitability check, readiness check, internal clearance, sponsoring agency check, readiness check in favorable internal clearance. Then move to the phase 2. Phase 2 is full feasibility analysis. Full feasibility analysis will be done by the private parties. So planning and preparing the PPP management project, like a detailed feasibility study, financial viability, value for money indicator tool, everything they will assess. Designing the best suited procurement method. First draft will be made, and applying for in principle clearance from appropriate appraisal and clearance authority. Then finally, the third phase is procurement. Procurement of prepare for procurement, like EOI, expression of interest, and EOI process. Then request for qualification and shortlisting. All the private party will apply, and they will shortlist based on the quality, and then final draft will be given, and then readiness check 3, application of the financial approval, and then bid evaluation. Again, contract finalization and award. In the fourth stage is after awarding the project to the public to the private party, they will come into operation. That's the project management and the operation. They will this is again a technical closure part, signing the concession agreement. But the public will leave. All the things will be taken care by the private party. They will implement and operate the project. The performance they will monitor and the contract they will enforce. This was taken by the consent. This was taken by the sponsor. So, if the implementation and the operation was taken care by the private party, still the performance was monitored by the government or the public, and the contract is always enforced by the public only. The responsibilities and the obligation is specified in advance in the concession agreement. It's a contract agreement again. Everything will be specified there. So, the responsibilities for the phase 4 will typically with the contract management team within the sponsor. Again, we have institutional framework. There are two important bodies. One is a public-private partnership appraisal committee. They will monitor these things, PPPAC, and then empowered committee or empowered institution. Finally, PPP cell is also there. We have a separate website for in India, pppinindia.com is .in is that. This is a website allocated for PPP because after the growth of private sector's involvement in all the government projects, there is a separate website was created and funded by the government of India. So first one is PPPAC. It was set up in 2006. Planning. It consists of Planning Commission, Department of Legal Affairs. We have lots of departments, like around 52 departments in India. More than that, I guess. You can check in the website what are the departments in India, and you can see the Department of Legal Affairs and Administrative Departments is taking care of this PPPAC. And then Empowered Committee. It's having the viability gap funding was provided, like around 200 crores in audit it was provided. And then Empowered Institution, it's like a viability gap funding of 100 crores was provided to the project. And final one is PPP cell, like it was taken care by the Department of Economic Affairs and Department of Ministry. You can see what are the various departments we are having. I'll show you. Departments in Government of India. If you go through, these are the union departments you can see. We have lots of 48 departments we are having. Out of the Department of Finance, Economic Affairs, and Department of Financial Service will be taking PPCL will be taken care by Department of Economic Affairs and Finance. And then the clearance, like clearance of PPP will be taken care by PPCL only. So again, this 100 crore to 100 crore to 250 crores cost will be given by this PPP for the PPP project will be given by PPP cell only. Again, we have lots of schemes, viability funding scheme, India Infrastructural Finance Company, and then Indian Infrastructural Project Development Fund. You can see everything in the PPP website itself. Okay, this gap funding is provided in a certain percentage of the total capital cost by the government because we don't know how much viable the project is. So the government will have a separate fund that is called viability gap funding. You can read about viable gap funding in the web finance website itself. We go through the Financial Service or Department of Economics Affairs. You can see what is this gap funding and all. It was mentioned clearly in that. And the PPP India, PPP in India, if you go. So this mainly discusses about the viability gap funding scheme only. So this was managed by the Department of Economic Affairs. You can go through this type of videos and how the gap funding schemes was provided by the government in various things and all. We can
to 60
for maximum. This is for again. You can see here what are the different projects that will be sponsored by gap funding. You can see here. Wastewater treatment schemes, water supply, solid waste management, health and education. These are the 5 important sectors that was sponsored with the financial, viability gap funding. You got it? So these are the, again, everything is environment related projects only. Then second one is IAFSCL. This provides a long-term finance for transportation, energy, water, sanitation and communication. Then IIPDF provides financial support for quality project development activities. So various states are having this already implemented PPF frameworks. More than 19 states in India have shown a PPP system in place. You can also go through this PPP in India.com. Technical assistance from the, as I mentioned, funding is provided by the government, and they also availed technical assistance from the Asian Development Bank to around 12 states in India, and become a common feature of project implementation. So they have after the growth of PPP model, the government of India has given a guidelines. PPP viability gap funding guidelines was notified in January in 2006. You can also go through the guidelines. A dedicated website was provided, and a various PPP document was there in the guidelines itself, and a technical assistance from ADB Bank, that is Asian Development Bank. So how the PPP play a major role in solid waste management programs? Like as I mentioned, the Ministry of Environment and Forest in 2000 has framed a framework for management of solid waste management. That's the solid waste management rule, management and handling rules in 2000. In that, the launch of JNRUM has also happened in 2005. Central government grants are being channelized through urban infrastructural governance, and also through urban infrastructure development scheme for small and medium towns. So the two major systems are centralized system and decentralized system. Centralized is technical driven. Decentralized is community based. So that was both of the funds will be coming from the central government grants only. The integrated municipal solid waste management will mostly be operated, as I mentioned, design, build, finance, operate. They won't transfer anything because the government don't need any transfer from the private sector. But the land will be owned by, or the asset will be owned by the government, and they will also have some revenue share from the private sector. So it's good for centralized system. That's what integrated municipal solid waste management will follow DBFO PPP model. For decentralized system, management contract model is very useful. That's what we have discussed earlier. Because we have an agreement, we are providing land to you, you can provide the service. It's not service contract, full management contract. These are the website you can go through for giving database for VPP, MSWM projects, and schemes like JNURM and Amrut. Amrut is again a scheme given in the SBM, Swachh Bharat Mission only. Then the classification of cities was done on the population and Acharya basis. We have a lot of things provided. What are the 10 critical factors for municipal solid waste management program in India? Integration of informal sectors, waste segregation, detailed project planning, strong and competent private sector partners. This is again a PPP's role only. Public awareness. This is also given by the private sectors. Transparent procurement process, capacity building, appropriate toll and tariff, tipping fee, project feasibility, public engagement and support. So 5 critical factors. Out of this 10 critical factors, 5 are most crucial, like integration of informal sector, waste segregation, public awareness, and appropriate role and tariff, public engagement and support are the 5 crucial factors in municipal solid waste management project by the PPPs. So there are lots of projects handled by PPP in tier 1 cities like Mumbai, you can see here, and then tier 2 cities, you can see every state is having this type of solid waste management programs with this different PPP models, with this different private agencies. What is the project status also given. And then tier 3 cities, we have lots of projects. So lots of case studies were given how the project got failed and how the project got succeeded. So you can see lots of waste to energy plant and the challenges and the project cost and the project benefit. Different landfill projects and the waste collection projects we have discussed here. This is all you can simply go through only values. I can skip this as of now.
So will you be sending this to us?
Yeah, I will
The
share
one.
this PDF to you. And the uh, website itself, NPTEL website itself, you can see here. If you go through Swayam portal. So this PPT I have made again through the video because most of the slides are overlapped. So you can refer this PDF. I'll share this PDF with you. Sorry. Okay, let it come. Coimbatore also we have a failure project in the collection and how much value that is incurred and how much benefit we are getting. Some success projects also there in Tirupur. So Pallavaram and Tambaram projects, you can see here. Various model that they have adopted and various scheme that have sponsored the budget. So all different projects you can see. So finally, the success project is SWM only. So few failures and case studies and things happened. You can see here what are the news cuttings. This problem was due to the absence of appropriate risk sharing and allocation fund, due to the absence of detailed project planning and improper capacity building. So we need to plan the full cost accounting need to be done. A proper impact assessment need to be done before starting any project. Absence of proper capacity building of the ULBs and the proper finance. Absence of appropriate toll and tariff capacity building by the ULBs. Capacity building is important. So we came to the end of 12th week, that is the end of the whole modules of solid waste management course. So SWM is the combination of technology as well as the management part. All the technologies are well established. You can't do any research on because institution and research institutions are also already done a lots of research on composting, anaerobic digestion, landfilling techniques, different disposal techniques like incineration, combustion. Everything we have a lot of technology available and research is saturated. Only the people have to. It's the where we are lacking is in the management part only. If you are having a source segregated waste, this all technology will work. So we don't have a proper technology as of now for the mixed heterogeneous waste. So if composting work only work when we are having organics. Incineration only work if we have only combustible. So all the researchers will do research on the segregated waste only. So if the people are segregating by behavioral change, if the people are segregating on their own at the household itself, or they are minimizing the waste, then it is all the technology, whatever there well established technologies available will work in the solid waste management projects. So this is the major issue, source segregation. Again, is the key to the solid waste management. Okay. So this is the end of the 12th week. We are going to discuss about the problems, old assignment problems. If you have any doubt, please you can unmute and ask, or you can post it in the chat box also. I'm happy to answer here. Or else we'll move on to the old assignment problems.
So please provide important topics for the examination.
That actually I am also a candidate. I am also writing the exam. Only the sir and his TAs will know the questions, and it will be confidential with the NPTEL team only. Important in the sense, whatever the assignment we have discussed and the old assignment, all the PPTs I have uploaded already here. You can see. Oh, and I'll show you. So from the assignment itself, you will get more than 50% of the questions. So you can easily pass. If you want more grade, you have to go through all the lecture materials. It may hardly take half day to revise once. So it's very easy only theoretical subject. Mostly it will be, not mostly, all the question will be numerical type. Sorry, no, multiple choice type. Some may be numerical if any problem is there. So here you can see in the course outline, you can see problem solving session. In that problem solving recordings, if you go, it will go through a Excel sheet in a separate website. Here you can see the third one is taken by mine. So as I mentioned, some parallelly two more PMRF scholars are also taking. So today I will upload the 12th week video, whatever the video I am recording today. So you can also go through the folder here. That folder will give you the lecture material what I am teaching today and the problem solving material, that is the PDF of 12 weeks I have already uploaded, and the formula sheet also I have uploaded, and the reference material what I have mentioned in the lectures also I have uploaded here, and some of my papers also I have uploaded. So you can go through this and you can get all the videos in the YouTube also. Whatever we are discussing, the last 12-week videos you can access. So important things I can say 50% or more than 50% will come from the assignment itself. You can go through the assignment properly again. The assignment you can access here. The recent assignment and the old assignments. Can we go through today's assignment?
सर एग्जाम टफ आ सकता है ज्यादा कि एवरेज टाइप में?
Sorry,
सर एग्जाम टफ हो सकता है?
can you please speak in English? Sorry.
Exam will be in higher mode or in
It's mentioned
medium?
in the website itself, the mode of examination and all. If you go through the course content about the course, it's mentioned everything. The course certificate and the mode of examination. It's a computer-based exam only. So directly you have to click the answer. That's it. It's a computer-based exam. You have to go to the center. Exam date is 26th October. Please be aware of this. Exam date is 26th October, like next Sunday, the coming Sunday, and the next Sunday, yeah, Saturday, we are having this, having the NPTEL exam. So if you want certificate, you have to attend the, at least you have to get a proper score of around best of 8 assignments out of 12 assignments that will be taken for the score, and you have to take more than 75%, and then 25% it will be taken from that, and 75% will be taken from the final exam. Easily you can get, no issues. So if you want certificate, you have to apply for the exam, appear for the exam.
So all of them will be multiple choice questions, or
Some may be
how do?
numerical, I don't know. It may be purely multiple choice only. Some one or two may be numerical, like some waste collection handling we have discussed, like stationary handling collection system and hauled container system, stationary container system. Maybe some problem may come from that, or some composting C-bend ratios problems and all may come. It's easily you can solve, no issues.
So
That
it
may be
says
numerical.
it has 75 marks. So which
Yeah,
means
75
uh,
percentage.
will we be having 75 questions
No,
or
no, 75 percentage of our score of 100. Sorry, it's like I think 100 questions. It's like 2 mark and 1 mark will be there. So I think 61 marks and 22 marks like that it will be. 40 marks plus 60 marks. I have attended last time it was like that. Mostly it will be like that only. 50 questions.
where
Yeah,
will we
that's
have the
50
answers for
questions
the
means.
assignments which are given earlier?
No, I think it's there in the website itself. Uh, After solving, you got the in the first week. If you see assignments, it will be mentioned what is the correct answer, what is the wrong answer. So answer is correct means whatever the answer we are chosen is correct. So
Okay,
50
okay.
questions will be there, each 2 marks. So I don't know, maybe that may be the case. I'm also not much aware of that. Sorry. Maybe 50 into 2 also may be there. Some may be 1 mark, some may be 2 marks. Some may be multiple choice also. I don't think no much of numerical will be there. Okay, so we'll move on to the problem solving session today. And one more thing, I have a extra session next Tuesday, 22nd of October, same timing 68. I will be discussing again. We can recall if you want. I will recall all the problem of 12 weeks. I can again discuss with you, and then I will discuss some of the landfill reclamation option. That is my project, my PhD project. I will discuss some of the things of my PhD projects also. Yes, ma'am.
What is your title, sir? Your PhD project?
That's about landfill mining. The what we have discussed in the last week, biomining.
Okay.
You can go through my profile in the ResearchGate or Google Scholar, ma'am, or LinkedIn profile. You can go through. I have uploaded all the papers there. Yeah. Okay. So please post the answers in the chat box. I'll move on to the questions.
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, ma'am. Please.
Sir, they actually is if you are going to the 22nd October one more session you announced, right? Sir?
Sorry. Oh, one more
Problem
session.
solving session.
Ah.
22nd.
Yeah. 22nd only, ma'am.
22nd October.
October. Same
So
Tuesday,
can you
68.
please explain us the problems, solved problems, mathematical. We are actually from life sciences background.
Okay.
You, so if the
The same
problems
already
are
what I the
explained in that
problem I have
session, we'll be
explained
benefited.
that was there in the YouTube, ma'am. if you go through the links, I think seventh week we have discussed about the problem solving session. So that
Yes, yes.
also you can go through. If you want, I will teach you again, ma'am. No issue.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Whatever the doubts you can ask on that extra session also. No issue. Some that problems maybe you can leave the problem if you want. If that will be better, I guess. You concentrate on some other theoretical parts. You will easily score. But as a score point of view, I'm telling. If you want to learn, you can go through the video, or I will explain again if you want. No issue. Yeah. Uh, I'll move on to the problems. Please answer the question. Which of this is not a characteristics of PPP project? Value for money, efficiency, risk transfer, time period. D. Any other answer? Mm. I hope you have attended all the 11 assignments in the website. Uh, so this is tomorrow is the deadline for the 12th week assignment. Please do it ASAP. Yeah. So the answer D is correct because whatever we have discussed the characteristics and the pillars of PPP project. The risk was transferred from the public to the private. They have the value for the money and output specification. They are affordable, efficient, promise of better project structure. So all the efficient risk transfer value for money is the characteristics of PPP. Only time period is not the PPP's thing. Okay. So answer D is correct, ma'am. Yeah. Please change your answer. Then we'll move on to the second question. Why there is a need of PPP, public private partnership? Lack of fund with government. Private sector has lot of money to invest. Private sector hold expertise and managerial capacity. All of this. So why we need to go with the PPP? Yeah. So all of this is the need because government is not having money, private is having money, private also have expertise and managerial capacity. That's what we have discussed. Private sector has lots of money to invest. These two slides you can refer. Yeah. Then third question, which cost process comes under one-time fixed cost related to the project? In full cost accounting FCA, we have seven components, sorry, seven elements. Out of out of this, which cost is one-time investment cost? Front-end cost, back-end cost, capital cost, social cost. This I have explained the lecture also. So front-end cost is whatever we are doing before the project. It may extend also. Back-end cost is finally. Capital cost is the equipment purchase, land acquisition, all the uh, vehicle purchase and all. Social cost is aesthetic appearance, human health, and environmental impact. Sorry, not environment. That is environmental cost. This and all social cost, land value depreciation and all. So one-time cost is capital cost. That's what mentioned here. So all the seven are for front end, capital, operating, contingent, back end, environment, and social cost. Out of which capital cost is a fixed and one-time cost. Okay. So the fourth was which cost includes the maintenance for leakage from municipal landfill. So this is like we are not expected. It may be unexpected problem, a leakage from the municipal landfill. That will come under operation and the maintenance cost, capital cost, transportation cost, and contingency cost, which is so more suitable for the maintenance of leakage from the landfill. It's an unexpected thing. So we have to have a backup for this type of unpredictable what we call expenditures. So that backup is called a contingent cost. So D is correct. Yeah. So here it's the definition of might or might not be incurred in future. So here you can see if there is an unknown or future release of pollutants such as leakage from the municipal landfill. So that is an unexpected thing. So that cost is called a contingent cost. You got it? So again, like a liability cost. If I am doing some activity that created a pollution to the environment, which is not expected, so I have to liable to the court. So that compensation and all contingent cost. Okay. Under which type of model solid waste management program are mainly considered? BOT, OM, DBFO, DBO. So which PPP model is suitable for SWM projects? Build, operate, transfer, operate, maintenance, design, build, finance, operate, design, build, operate. If you are going with the DBO, who will finance? Public is not having. What question different? Okay. So who will finance? So we need a finance also. We need to, if you are build, operate and transfer, again who will finance? Operate and maintenance. So mainly we are going for the private sector for the finance only for the solid waste management program. So DBFO is suitable. Or another one is like management contract, managerial contract is also suitable. DBFO is suitable for centralized project. For decentralized projects, managerial contract is suitable. Ma'am.
No, my question assignment says which model operates decentralized system of waste management. This was the question.
I'm not actually discussing the assignment problem. This is old assignment problem only that you have to
Okay.
solve by referring the PPT. What is the question
Okay,
actually?
okay.
Decentralized system. That also I have answered now.
Okay, okay, okay.
For decentralized, it will be managerial cost, I guess. DBFO. Here you can see decentralized or community based managerial
Management
contract
contract.
is suitable for centralized DBFO. And also, I should not discuss the assignment problem, but the old assignment also having the same questions. That's why I am discussing. Uh,
Oh, understood, understood.
uh, yeah. We'll move on to the next question. What is the sequence in implementation of PPP project? We have 4 stages. It may be full feasibility, identification, procurement, and operation. What is the order? First, it will be identification only. Then, finally, it will be procurement and operation. So, in between, full feasibility. So, B may be correct. Yeah, B. Identification, full feasibility, procurement, and operation. So, this is the 4 process or phases in the PPP projects: identification, full feasibility, procurement, and operation. If you again go through this assignment problem, we will easily score, man. No issue. Which model operates decentralized system of waste management? This is what we have already answered. It's the management contract. It's a managerial contract. Yeah. So why we are going with the managerial contract? Because the private party will take care everything, but the public sector retains the ownership of the commercial risk. Okay. Eighth question. Which of this crucial success factor is not considered as a crucial for MSWM projects? We have a crucial factors for MSWM project, which is critical, which is not critical. They are asking which is not critical. Integration of informal sector, public awareness, project feasibility, waste segregation. Which is not more critical. We have 10 factors. Out of that, 5 are more critical factors. They are asking which is not. Integration of informal sector, public awareness, project feasibility, waste segregation. I am also confused. Okay, we will move on to the answer. Project feasibility. Yeah, that's correct. Because we have 10 critical factors. Out of this, most critical are integration of informal sectors, waste segregation, public awareness, toll and tariff, public engagement support. So everything is related to public only. That's the most crucial factor. These are the impacted factor because all of this represents their role in every aspect of solid waste management. There is so many projects which are failing due to the absence of these factors. That's why it's called the most critical. So what is not given? A project feasibility. That's not most critical. Okay. The ninth question is, what provides the pathway for identifying and assessing the cost related to ISM project, ISWM project? Fixed cost accounting, full cost revenue, front end cost, full cost accounting. So the FCA is the proper or full thing which which provides the path for identifying and assessing the cost. So the answer is FCA. Yeah. D. Full cost accounting. So you can see the definition itself, it provides a systematic framework for identifying and evaluating the cost associated with the ISWM, and it provides accurate and complete information on the real cost of the management of municipal solid waste. So before starting any project, or at least you can say before starting any MSWM project, we need to do full cost accounting. Got it? And FCA covers the life cycle with the cradle to grave approach. So the 10th question is, which type of analysis is preferred performed between transfer station capacity and finance of transfer operations? Financial analysis, economic analysis, trade-off analysis, and trading analysis. I think the answer is trade-off, but I don't have any information in the PPT. If you have, please share. I have searched a lot for this question. Which type of analysis is performed between transfer station capacity and finance of transfer operations? They are asking about the transfer trade-off analysis. I am not. I'm also confused. Which analysis? C is the answer I know, but I don't have a reference in the slide. If you have, please let me know the page number. No, ma'am. The answer is C. Trade-off analysis. Yeah. Okay, I'll move on to the next question. What is the sequence in the implementation? That is again a identification, full feasibility, procurement, and operation. Sorry, it's wrong. Sorry. This is correct. Then the next one, why there is a need of PPP? That is like all of this. Most questions are repeated. This you can say. Can you answer this? MSWM systems are financially feasible only on standalone basis, multiple organization, community basis, not none of this. This I have mentioned. Yeah. MSWM projects are financially feasible only they are on standalone basis. So the answer is standalone basis. That's what I have discussed. MSWM systems are sustainable only when they are financially viable on standalone basis, because they should not ask extra fee from the public on the course of the project. After starting, they should not ask for extra money. So they stand alone. For that, we need a proper accounting before starting the project. That's what FCA. Which cost comes under one time again the capital cost? Here you can see capital cost is the one-time fixed cost associated with the project. In which sector India is most deficit at? Can you answer this question? In deficit analysis, we have discussed the facts. In which sector India is more deficit? Not D. Transportation deficit, storage deficit, infrastructural deficit, all of this.
Transportation.
No. It's C. Yeah, infrastructural deficit. That's what we have discussed now, ma'am. Like in the deficit management, India spends around 6% of the GDP for transport infrastructure alone, compared to China's 20%. Only we are spending 6%. If we want to achieve the same 20%, we need to spend, we need to invest $250 billion. So the most glaring deficit in India is infrastructure deficit only. The resultant effect is retardation of the economic growth. So if you spend more money on the infrastructural development, then economic growth will also parallelly happen. That's what the finance minister's speech also it was quoted. The importance of infrastructure for the rapid economic development cannot be overstated. So the most deficit in India is infrastructure deficit. We need a lot of money for that. That's the deficit, which is not the characteristics of PPP. Again, time period. Which cost includes the maintenance for leakage of municipal solid waste? That's a contingency cost. Can you answer this? Which type of cost process is associated with aesthetic impact? Out of the 7 elements of FCA, which cost process is associated with aesthetic impact? Social cost, operating cost, environmental cost, and back-end cost. Aesthetic, cost value reduction, public's liability, this and all comes under, yes, social cost. Social cost is the one which deals with the aesthetic importance. Here you can see quality of life, aesthetic impacts, community image, effects on the property value, decrease, everything is related to social cost. That and all we have to take care. That's the environmental justice. Okay. Here we come to the end of the 12 weeks of problem solving session. Thanks for joining this. You have asked a question. I don't know if this is there in the assignment or not. I will try to answer. Uh, Duties of Central Pollution Control Board includes. Is that in today's assignment? Not there. It's there. Sorry. Duties of Central Pollution Control Board includes identification and allocation of land for setting about the project, development of guidelines for maintaining the buffer zone. You can see this guidelines. I will also go through the guidelines. If you don't know the solid waste management rule exactly, maybe the 10th lecture. You can see solid waste management rule. Yeah, at the end we have discussed about the solid waste management rule. What they are asking, the role of Central Pollution Control, identification and allocation of land for setting up of the, that is by ULBs. Development of guidelines for maintaining buffer zone, that is correct. And then publication of standards, that is also by the central government only. Development of master plan, the all policies and plan action should be done by the ULBs. So answer may be B and C. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I should not say. Okay. Let it be. So hope you got the answers. Um, so if you have any doubt, please let me know. I'm happy to answer here. I'll be in the meet for next 5 minutes. If you have any other queries than the exam, you can ask here. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you have enjoyed 12 weeks course. If you have any doubt, you can also write to me at this mail ID, or you can ask in the Q&A session while preparing. If you have got any doubt during, not during examination, before examination, you can ask in this. We will periodically we will answer these queries in the Q&A session of this itself. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you all. If you don't have any doubt, you can leave the meet. Thank you so much. Please try to join in the extra session also. I will revise and you can also revise along with me for the exam with the old assignment problems. I'll try to answer this numerical answers problems also. Thank you all. It's around, it's on 22nd October 68. You will also receive mail. I have already informed the NPTEL team. They will send you a mail. Thank you all. Thank you so much. All the best for your exam also. Sorry, I forgot to tell. All the best for your exam. Do well. We'll meet soon, if possible, again. And then another NPTEL course. Thank you so much. I am from NIT Trichy. I am basically from Rajapalayam, Tamil Nadu only. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much. I will close the meet.